Hey everybody, welcome to Obscurities and Miniatures, and well, I pulled the trigger when I thought I wasn't going to. I got the new 2-player starter set from GCT Studios for their Bushido game. This is not my first 2-player starter set, nor will it probably be the last, nor will it probably be the only Warband starter box. I've built a couple, painted a couple even. I built the original 2-player starter set and painted all of the prefecture of you guys, and I don't think I ever got around to finishing up the Edo clan that was included there. But we have a pretty diverse looking group in this new starter set, and no like stereotypical armored samurai for once. Yes, we do have some samurai, I mean, granted. We've got like a little fox spirit, and we've got like a couple of mages, and kind of noblemen with the big swords there. Fancy warrior. Well, she's kind of samurai-ish. Onamusha. Onamugesha. So, what is in here? 10 figures, 31 cards, token set, and rulebook. So you really do get everything you need. 5 for each side. And I'm going to imagine these are also resin models, because it says that down here. But obviously, I don't think these are going to be single cast pieces, whereas the older starter set did have single cast pieces. I was about to pull somebody off that a Bushido figure, but I don't think he was actually in that starter set, and I built him later. There is a samurai. But yeah, now that I think about it, it was one piece. Alright, let's stop rambling about other stuff. Let's take a look at this stuff. This was a tough call for me. I could not make up my mind between getting this set, take a swig of coffee here, or the new Kitsune Fox set that came out for Gen Con. So this is the Risen Sun rulebook. This looks to be exactly the same. Lots of nice art in there. Not a whole lot of fluff, but it does have all of the information that you're going to need to play. A little bit of fluff back here. All the various factions. There is Mifune, I think it was either Toshiro or Mifune. I don't remember what they called him. He is a limited edition model that always shows up during trade shows, special events, sales, holidays. So if you like this guy, if you like this look, do keep an eye out on GCT Studios' website, which I will have a link to down below, just for your convenience, because I care about you guys. But yeah, he's a special one to get. Haven't seen much of the Kage guys lately. Shiho clan, we've got some of those. Actually, I have almost all of them painted up at this point. Okay, I think that is a little bit more up-to-date. I'm going to have to pull out my old one that came with the first 2-player starter set when Risen Sun was released and see what's in there. Hold on to these. Going to need those if I ever convince somebody else to play. Scan me, I can't because I'm using my phone to film this. Okay, pretty standard looking token sheet. Little thin. There's actually 3 of these. Little thin compared to the previous set. But if it jams everything in there and keeps the price under $100 for 10 miniatures, rulebook, and all that. Oh, okay, that's just a guide on how to do that. Okay. Fair enough. So something to think about. Might want to check out that QR code. Of course, they probably have all that stuff on GCT Studios website as well. Pretty typical bases. Looks like we have one 50mm base. The rest are all 30s. And eventually, I'm like, are there any figures in here? Yes, there are. Haven't even seen them yet. Like, that can't be it. Oh, there's little packing peanuts. Whee! Well, these don't look actually all that bad for putting together. Let's take a closer look. Whee! Obviously, I don't know which side is which. There's some really nice painted examples on their website, which I will wholeheartedly be taking a look at and using for inspiration. But dang, look at the casting job. Never mind my scaly looking fingers. That is some sharp casting. A little bit of cleanup necessary, but nothing too bad. Nice pose. Ken Mena. She looks cool. Haiboku. At first I was afraid that was like a staff, and I was like, oh boy, no, I'm pretty sure he's supposed to be an archer. Where is your quiver, my friend? Who are you, Sadaka? You an old lady. Actually, that is a really nicely sculpted face. I will absolutely butcher painting her. You won't even be able to tell. Good thing I showed you now. Okay, and then the hand. So you can see, I mean, the resin, this is like their second resin release. If you saw my video, they put out the Pilgrims as a set of limited edition resins. The Dark Pilgrim and the Golden Pilgrim, I think. That sounds right. Those are pretty sharp, but these are really nice looking. Alright. All the spirits that go with Maha. It's nice that they didn't number it for you guys. Daihanji. A cool looking Imperial dude. Much like Malifaux, I think if you're a Shadows of Brimstone fan, if you want to give this game a shot as well, you're going to get a lot of cool looking models for supplementing that game. And I only mention that because I know most Shadows of Brimstone players are hardcore collectors of figures that can be used in that game. So something to think of. A little bit of mold line there on Maha. Remember his hands have the monsters in it. Tayo. Maybe like our porter friend, it looks like. And really nice job. Those face details are really nice. Oh, I don't think they'll look that nice after I paint them, but that's okay. Koga. A little bit of an imperfection there with their face, but I'm not going to worry about it. Gonna need some cleanup here and there, but that's okay. Yokin. This is our Kitsune Fox Spirit. Looks to be about 3 parts. That's not too bad. We've got the main body in 2 pieces and then a separate head. And finally, last box. Bag. It's not a box. This is Hinadori. That's going to be kind of cool when it's all put together. Kind of like the Pilgrim ladies. I'd whip them out and show you guys, and I don't know where I put them now. I know I primed them. I'm afraid I started to paint them, and they're hideous at the moment. Kicho. Which is funny, because it's almost like a nickname that my wife calls my daughter. Not exactly, though. It's not even her name, anyway. And I like this model a lot. This is probably my favorite of the bunch, I think. Next to the Daihanji. If I can find him. Where'd you go, dude? Ah. Very elegant looking. I really like this model. Anyways, I will get them based and put together, and hopefully I will get to show them off for you guys so I can adjust the camera a little bit, so sit tight. Alright, we got our starter set all put together here. Not that it really took a whole lot of effort. I mean, it was such minimal cleanup on these figures. I'm still impressed. Now, we'll start with the ones that actually needed a bit of work. And I cannot remember anybody's names. Number 1, I don't have the cards handy, but number 2, I had to clip off all the little tags on the bottom of their slot filler slots that had their names on it, so I don't remember who's who, unfortunately. We've got our little Kitsune type thingy here. Obviously, went together fairly quick and easy. Now, I did not glue our 2 magic users, just because getting in there and getting that thing painted is going to be a pain, and getting to the actual wizard dude in there, it's going to be a real hassle. So we left our 2 mage types unglued. And again, I am just wowed by the quality of that resin casting. If I was an amazing painter, I would definitely have my work cut out for me to keep all those details apparent. I'm not an amazing painter, so whether or not half that stuff shows up when I'm done with it, because mark my words, they will be painted. Whether or not they're up to the standards of GCT Studios is anybody's guess, but I'm going to probably err on the side of not even close. So those are the figures that needed some actual work. Then we had our two-piece figures here. I'm going to set those two to the side. I haven't glued anybody, but that's because I never glue anything to the bases. I mean, just look at the detail there. So we glued his backpack on. Reminds me of that one giant Karakuri Titan Forge model I printed. It has a similar little porter type dude that I've never bothered to paint yet. And then our matron. Look at that old lady. Look at the detail there. But I mean, just there's going to be so many fun little things to paint on this. I did not do the best gluing job there. My apologies. At least from a distance, I don't think it's going to be that noticeable. Then we'll grab our archers. I am impressed that those came out one piece and didn't have any issues there. Again, if you're a decent painter, this is going to be just a glorious field day of stuff to mess with. And then our close combat fellows. One of them at least. We don't usually get the more fancy types, so that's kind of nice to see. I don't know who they had cast this. It doesn't look familiar. I really like this model. More than likely, she's going to be the first that I paint. I think it's a she. Looks like a she. I could be completely wrong. Grabbing some other Bushido models that I've got handy. I've painted my fair share, but not that they're all nearby. This poor fellow. I painted his dog. Came with a dog. Dog's painted. He's not. So it's good to see that, I mean, now this guy from the Minimoto clan is quite large to begin with, even in terms of Bushido figures, so it's good to see that he still towers over them, but our older metal model looks really in line with the resins there. My favorite dude from, well, one of my favorites from the Shiho clan here. Hanging out. And if you're a discerning person of culture, much like myself, and have a myriad of various samurai type models that you wish to add to your repertoire, if you were going to use these figures in games expanded far beyond just the Bushido lineup here. Malifaux swordsman and some printed stuff. I think these are really in a good spot. I mean, Malifaux tends to err on the side of largeness, and the printed stuff tends to be more 32mm than 25 or whatever funky scale everything is these days. So it's good to see. I think these are going to fit in really nicely with a lot of modern, standard-sized samurai-style models. So if that's something that excites you, definitely I think this is going to be a kit to look out for. Not a whole lot of cleanup necessary, so if you want to just try out the game, you know, you're pretty much good to go. A couple drops of glue, you know, punch out those tokens. I think you're pretty much all set. Heck, even my Kensei stuff is relatively in size, but Kensei tends to be a little bit smaller. That's good to see. I don't know, I'm really happy with these. I am really impressed by the sculpt quality, the casting of the resin, and the models themselves are quite nice looking too. I think there's going to be a lot of fun layers of stuff to paint here, even though I'm not the best. But I will give it a go. So hopefully, if you want to see this stuff painted, do keep an eye on this channel. We're going to show it off, and naturally, as I see new and interesting stuff from GCT Studios, we'll be sure to show those off on the channel as well. If you haven't had a chance to take a look through their quite extensive catalog at this point, by all means, we'll have that link down below. You guys can take a look. Hopefully the shipping isn't too exorbitant for you. I would absolutely love to see them see more distribution in the States. It is pricey having to ship from the UK these days, but then again, what isn't cheap? What is cheap to ship anywhere? Period. Because, yeah, we all know that feeling. But anyway, very fun kit. Very nice looking figures, and definitely looking forward to getting some paint on these, even though it may not be the greatest job. So with that said, this has been High Lord Tamberlane with Obscurities and Miniatures, saying thanks for watching, and we will see you back here soon. Bye-bye.